On Wednesdays at 7, sharp as can be, Blue Gal's calling, come knit with me.
Hey guys, it's Blue Gal. Happy Pride! And I am wearing my Biden-Harris Pride shirt that I bought last year, 12 months ago. Think about that. Yeah, and the sock this month, we'll just start with that. It is the Rainbow Sock Grocery Girls Sock Bash theme. The colors on this camera are not coming out exactly as bright as it actually is. It's really bright. That is a bright yellow, and it's not showing up that way. Anyway, there is a picture of this sock at my Ravelry project page, which is linked below. And so happy Pride, everybody. And I forgot to say last week that I finished the May socks. May was your favorite pattern, which my favorite pattern, I think I've said before, is the Yarn Harlots recipe cheat sheet for socks. And I do knit 3 purl 1. I made a joke with one of my kids yesterday about how I was going to knit these socks in knit 2 purl 2. And I decided to do them in knit 3 purl 1 because then they'll be non-binary. Is that a dad joke or a mom joke or whatever? I think it is. All right, so you've seen the Pride socks. You've seen last month's socks. And now I have big news. I finished this morning the Shetland Wool Week hat for 2025. And it's just gorgeous. I told you guys I've had a hard time with the tightness of this yarn. It's on size 2s and it's got clinginess to it. I forget what they call that, but it's rough surface to the fiber. It's not smooth like this hat I did in 11 days. This hat I did in 18 days. So this took a full week longer. Because the yarn is stiffer and just takes more. It's harder on my hands and my arms to knit this. This is Tosh Merino Light, and this is Jamieson and Smith 2-ply Shetland. So it took longer. Also, there's just more patterning in this sock, and I switched from one circular needle size 2 to 2 circulars to finish as the decreases go. And look at that. I mean, all those diamonds going around the edge of the hat carry up. It's just sorcery how they carry up to a star at the top. Isn't that just amazing? Very, very happy with this project. Both of these projects, both these hats. I'm proud to have knit them. And it's not quite done yet, though, is it? Because of all the ends I have to work in. But I am very pleased. Very, very pleased with this. All right. And I will get the ends worked in this week. Yes, I will. Now, let's check my list here. Next up, exciting news in the world of knitting is that Knitty Natty has come out with her sock week, the dates and the theme. The dates are July 20th to 27th, and the theme is Ice Cream Social. I'm not going to sew an ice cream cone project bag this year. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to follow the theme, and I do want to encourage any of you who knit socks in a casual way to think about joining us at Sock Week. It's a personal challenge to knit a sock, just one sock in a week. It has to be fingering weight yarn, has to be an adult sock. It can't be a shorty. It can be a pair of shorties, but it can't. I don't know if that's right. I might be mixing up Grocery Girls with Knitty Natty. I don't remember. You'll have to look and see at Knitty Natty, and I link below her video introducing Sock Week and what the rules are. And it has to be an adult sock. It has to be in fingering weight yarn, and you knit one sock in a week. If you have knit socks in the past, you don't have to have knit a sock a month. You don't have to have a tremendous output. But if you've knit a pair of socks before, try this, because my experience has been that knitting a sock in a week and concentrating on finishing a sock in a week teaches you so much about sock knitting, about time management, and about what you're capable of doing. It's not a race, and it is entirely possible. It's 7 days. It's actually 8 days, because you can turn it in by Monday morning, I think. And so I learned so much from doing that the first year. I did it in 2020, that I've done it every year since. And I think it's fantastic. It's a fantastic exercise. Just like knowing now that I can knit a patterned hat with this amount of patterning in 11 days, and I can knit a really detailed fingering weight Shetland hat in 18 days. You know, that's 3 weeks approximately, giving myself a cushion. That teaches you a lot about planning what your projects are going to be. And I'm now in the middle of just getting started on a top-down cardigan, a plain top-down cardigan for youngest child, and in worsted weight yarn, so I can figure out really how many days does it take. It's not a race. I'm not trying to get to it in 20 days or 30 days or 50 days or whatever. I just want to find out how many days it is. Working on it at a pace that I'm comfortable with. And then I know, okay, I'm going to cast on a sweater. I know if I cast it on and work on it till it's finished in the hours of the day that I have, not working on it 8 hours a day, maybe working on it 2, right? Or 1 hour a day. Maybe only 15 minutes every once in a while. I'll only have that amount of time. On audio podcast days, I often only have it like 20 minutes a day to knit. Can you believe that? So yeah, I want to find out and have that as sort of a gauge for myself. Okay, there's a sweater I want to do, and I know I can finish it in a month. And that also prevents UFOs. That prevents you from stuffing it in a bag and leaving it and not knowing, because you don't have any end game, any end time in place that you've already measured, of knowing that you can finish it and wear it and enjoy it. So Ice Cream Social is the theme this year. And so I love going through my sock yarn stash and finding patterns and figuring out, this is what I love about Grocery Girls Sock Bash, is every month there's a theme. And I did a video earlier this year where I showed month by month what the themes are, because they announced them for the year. So I went through all my stash and found yarns that would match the theme for each month. Most months, I think there's 1 or 2 where I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but most of the months I do know exactly which sock I'm going to knit and which yarn I'm going to use. But this was a surprise today, because no one knew what the theme was going to be for 2025 for Sock Week until this past week, when Knitty Natty came out and said, okay, it's Ice Cream Social. So I am going to knit. This is by Sarah Dawn's Designs. It is the Ice Cream Sundae socks. And I have this picture doesn't do justice and show you exactly what the pattern looks like. It is, she is a Canadian designer, Sarah Dawn, and this is one of the project pictures. And this one is by Nana Kathy. I don't know whether this is test knit for the pattern or she just knit it. It's been out for a while, so she may just have done this. But it is not a cable. It is yarn overs and then a decrease in a field of knit one, purl one. So it's a little fussy. There is a chart, and this is a paid pattern, but they are doing, I don't know who's doing this, but it was on the pattern page. Someone is doing a knit along in June for this pattern. And so this pattern is 50% off until June 30th. So if you like this, or if you're thinking of participating in Sock Week next month, and you want a sock that goes with the theme, the US dollars, this is $2.66 until the end of June in US dollars. You'll be paying Canadian for it, but yeah, I don't think there's a tariff on PDFs. But yeah, this is there's a chart, and there's I bought the pattern, and I'm glad I did. There are guidelines in here about making sure this particular yarn over, knit one, purl one, and knit two together, etc., flows to the top of the foot. She has quite a bit of information about that in this pattern, which I think makes it worth $2.66. So that's the pattern. And then the yarn, I'm still, mourning the loss of Joanne fabric, so I'm going to use this one. And this is KC hand-dyed. This is called, what is it called? Oh, it's just called hand-dyed. Okay. Hand-dyed. And it's in the colorway Cotton Candy Splash. And I looked it up, and Baskin Robbins does still sell cotton candy ice cream. Ugh, I know. But yeah, so I wanted to have Knitty Natty has one of the yarns, and knit, by the way, you will see if you go to her video on Sock Week, she has sponsors who provide and sell at Etsy hand-dyed yarns that go with the theme, stitch markers that go with the theme, and project bags also that go with the themes. And she has one other accessory as well that was a surprise, and people will like it or not. But she is in the world of hustling and also uplifting small makers who are on Etsy or wherever, selling handmade, hand-dyed yarns, handmade project bags, and handmade stitch markers. And all of the things that are being sold for Sock Week go with the theme. But one of the sock kits, it's a sock set. It has a mini for the heel or the toe or whatever, was a unicorn sparkle, which is apparently an ice cream flavor. So I feel like I can do cotton candy. If unicorn is an ice cream flavor, I can say this is an ice cream flavor too, because it is. It's cotton candy ice cream. All right. So that is the plan to start knitting. You cast on June 20th, and you have a week, and it's a generous week. It's Sunday to Sunday. And so that's the plan for that one. Like I said, I'm not going to make a ice cream themed bag. I do sew bags for this Sock Week, and I've done that in the past with fabric that coordinated with the theme. But there's no Joanne fabrics anymore, and I'm not going to go out and look for ice cream. But I thought I might ask my husband to bring home some Baskin Robbins and just make sure the bag stays clean, and just put everything in a Baskin Robbins bag to use as my project bag for the week, because I think a paper bag would last a week. That would be good for the photographs too. So next week, I am planning to have an update on my progress with the top-down cardigan. that I am working on in worsted weight wool on size 8s. So I'm expecting it to go fast, and I will be working on that. I'm also going to finish this sock, and then I will work on the second sock in this set at the end of the month, because second sock week is the last week of the month. I always do that on Blue Sky, so join me there. And that's my knitting and working in the ends on this hat. That's the other thing, is this hat needs to have the ends worked in. So I will be for sure working on that. All right. Always end with some reading. And once again, we're back to Knitting Yarns, which is edited by Ann Hood, Writers on Knitting. And there's just this cute poem in here. Maybe you've heard it before. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read a few stanzas of it. It is, I bought this pattern book last spring by Elinor Lipman. She's a humorist. She's very funny. And it's a poem about the knitter's stash and unfinished projects and the hope that knitting brings. That is written in here. Okay. It started with some stray pink wool, and from an early age I knew that knit and purl were a duet. And the song they sang was stockinette. At 5 years old, my mom instructing, but not a thing was I constructing. A strip was all, just stitch by stitch, and still it scratched some untold itch. And oh, the projects I have started, but then I find myself faint-hearted. I loved this cotton at the store, but I don't like it anymore. Closeouts, farm stands, wool online. I hate the shanks I have to wind. A ton of yarn I loved and bought, but now it's looking not so hot. That poncho takes at least a year, and cables are a new frontier. And why is this 4-needle mitten both difficult and so ill-fittin'? Don't think that knitting saves you cash. You're out of room to store your stash. Will odds and ends from years ago become an Afghan? Surely no. The project wilting in your bag could almost be a running gag. If only each abandoned piece were not a sweater for your niece. I bought this pattern book last spring and haven't made one stupid thing. I meant to make that lacy shawl, but months have passed, and now it's fall. I knit while watching bad TV. It gives an air of busy bee. I knit in bad times and in good. It works for me like praying should. I bought this pattern book last spring. I never know what life will bring. It features cardigans for men. I might knit things like that again. That is, I bought this pattern book last spring by Elinor Lipman. That's excerpts from the poem from Knitting Yarns, edited by Ann Hood. I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
On Wednesdays at 7, sharp as can be, blue gals calling, come knit with me.